Together we can rule the galaxy far and south.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
Hello there, Space Wizards, Plastic Spacemen, and Rebel Princesses. This is Todd Hoffman and
Trent Hoffman.
And you're listening to Big T and Little T, a Star Wars podcast. Welcome to episode 119. Today, we're talking about episode 5 of Andor. And joining me today is my little buddy, Trent Hoffman. How are you, dude?
Good.
That's awesome. But hey, we are not alone in this endeavor. No, we have a special guest, Isaac Slaughter from Ikes Flame Podcast. How are you doing, Isaac?
I'm doing really well. I'm very glad to be with you and excited to talk some Andor and just hang out and talk Star Wars. So yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's how we do it here on a Saturday morning. So in podcast land, our episodes are going to be like 1 week apart, but we recorded yours a little bit ago, so it's been a half a minute since we talked to you. But it's so excited to have you on the show today. We're super stoked to talk a little bit about Andor and some Star Wars.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on, and yeah, it's a pleasure.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so
I can't hear in the headphones.
Okay, hold on 1 second, brother. Okay, you good? Okay, there we go.
Okay.
So we have what do we like to do, Trent? We like to stream. So check us out on twitch.tv / Big T Little T. We're playing Fortnite
A lot. Yes.
There's a new season
Yes.
and it's fun.
The Chrome's being
Not Google Chrome, but like this like toxic Chrome that's like T2 T1000 Chrome. It's taking over Fortnite.
Basically, yeah. It's like actually nice.
Yes.
Months.
Yeah. So and we're the main so the season pass is the main person at the end is actually Gwen Stacy from Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
She looks cool.
Yeah, but I was wondering where's Miles? Like,
we need Miles. We love Miles.
I would love to have Miles, like the grappling gun, not like this spider. I hope the spider webs come back. That would be fun.
That would be fun. So have you seen Into the Spider-Verse, Isaac?
I have not, but I know what you're referencing.
What? Isaac, it's my favorite superhero movie. It's so good.
I'll have to make sure I check that out.
Yeah. How dare you? What are you doing? It's just a fun. I think it's fun. It's a fun movie. It's just great. It just has everything you need in a superhero movie, don't you think? I'm slightly biased. But
I have watched the it would be like the Disney Plus like series of that.
And you mean like on Disney Plus, the Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So same characters, right? And same.
Yes. You know what? I'm not familiar with that. Have you seen that?
Seen what?
On Disney Plus, the Spider-Man one?
The little cartoonies.
The cartoons?
Yeah, cartoons.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
You seen those?
I've seen those.
Are you up and on that? I'm not up on it.
No, I haven't watched that.
Yeah. Well, anyways, Spider-Man Into the Universe. It's a must watch.
I've heard that before. I just haven't got there yet. So.
Right. Just clear the schedule the rest of the day. Make it happen.
Yeah.
So. And then we just finished flag football, bro.
Yeah.
It was a good season.
Yeah, we won the last game.
Won the last game. That's good.
Last game was today?
It was last Saturday.
Saturday. Okay.
Yeah, we started.
Awesome.
I mean, it's a very short season.
Yeah.
It's through our church. So we started in August and we just finished last week and it was fun.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I can't wait to start tackle.
Yeah, he wants to start tackle. I'm like, we'll see, bud. Hold on.
No, you said if I make it, see if I do it. If you said after 2 years, I could do it.
Yeah, we're gonna try to make it happen.
Yeah. Tackle everybody.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that was fun. That's been fun. So now we're you're in the Midwest as well, Isaac.
Yes.
The leaves are starting to change. It's starting to get a little cold. You got to put the hoodie on.
Yep.
It's it's a good time for fall here. So
yes, I currently have my hoodie on because I record in my garage and my garage is not heated. So
oh, nice.
So
are you serious?
Yeah, I am serious. So
that's awesome. He records in his garage.
Is he in his garage right now?
Yeah, he's in his garage right now.
I am in my garage right now. So
that's so fun. What a great way to have your studio. You know.
So
I was in his garage, right?
Like, well, because he has like an actual heater that like heats the garage. Like if we went out there, we'd be cold. It'd be cold.
Like, does he have like a little room he goes in? Or
well, no, it's his garage, but he heats it. Yeah, isn't it? I mean, it's like. This is like space age stuff right here, man.
Yeah, there you go. So me and my wife live in like a 1-bedroom townhouse with an attached garage. So I don't have anywhere inside to record anything without annoying her. So I got put in the garage.
Right. I'm gonna open up the studio in the garage.
Exactly.
And she's like, okay.
Okay.
And
it's better, you know. It is honestly better than like at the kitchen table or like in your bedroom. So
yeah. So
yeah.
So yeah, I got that hoodie on, trying to stay warm out here in the garage.
All right. Well, you know, if you start turning blue, we'll try to speed it up here. No, it's not that bad yet. Okay, so let's jump right into it. We got episode 5, The Axe Forgets. But before we get into Andor, let's just kind of with our listeners, let's just try to understand your Star Wars journey. So, how did you get into Star Wars?
Yeah. So I think I probably got into Star Wars partially because my older brothers, and growing up, we all of us grew up like when the prequels are coming out, so that was kind of like big movies go watch or whatever was when the prequels are coming out and seeing those, and then we'd always have like the toy lightsabers and stuff like that growing up.
Yes.
And playing with those, and pretty sure we had a few of those that got broke over the years, and I'm pretty sure Darth Maul's lightsaber ended up being 2 lightsabers.
Right.
But yeah, so we did stuff like that. I played like Lego Star Wars and some Star Wars Battlefront with my brothers and things. So so that's kind of how I got into Star Wars. Neither of my parents were really into it, so like just me and my brothers got into it and enjoyed it. And then actually, I probably like didn't really pay much attention to Star Wars until like a couple of years before Force Awakens came out. Like it was kind of like, yeah.
So you had your own little like dark period where you're like, okay, prequels were cool, and then you kind of got out of it, and then a little right before Force Awakens, you kind of
a couple of years before that. Yeah, I finally started watching like Rebels and Clone Wars and all those and getting caught up and reading some books and that sort of thing. So, and then was excited for Force Awakens. So yeah, so that's kind of how I got into it. Kind of been doing that and love it now. Have dived in probably much deeper than I ever thought I would.
Nice. So you got back into Star Wars. Where did the podcast idea come from?
Yeah, so actually I was trying to do some YouTubing initially. And it was just too much time for me, and especially doing video editing and all that stuff. And I mean, just having the extra tools to do that, it's a little simpler to do podcasts in some ways. And so initially just getting into it, I ended up doing that, which I found was just easier for me. And I was like, I wanted to do something like that. So I was like, hey, we'll give podcasts a try, and do that. So that's kind of where that came from, and doing that. So yeah. So
describe, where did the name come from? Ikes Flame. Where does that come from?
Yeah, that's a great question. So my name's Isaac. So I like my brothers growing up, and just I got a lot of people around that call me Ike, kind of as a nickname. So that's where that came from. And then Ikes Flame is, for me, it was just like I think part of the reason I came up with it is like doing podcast and YouTubing and stuff like that. I just wanted to be kind of a light, and be make people smile, and hopefully make their day a little bit brighter as I was doing it. Where I'm doing podcasting, and that sort of thing, you end up in other people's lives through headphones or whatever, their car radio, car stereo. And so for me, it was just a way to kind of say like, hey, I want to make somebody's day a little better.
Right.
And hopefully brighten somebody else's day. Along with that, and I mean, for me as well, like I'm a Christian, so like for me, it's just a way of kind of sharing Jesus's light and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
As we go.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah, so
We're Christians too, so that's super
Yeah.
cool. I like that idea of like spreading the message and like flame, like a flame in a good way, not in a bad way where it's like
not
but
not the pool of the pool of lava.
not like Mustafar lava. No. We want a good flame, like spreading kindness and love and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Not Mustafar flames.
No.
And as we talk about Star Wars, I mean, there's always good stuff and bad stuff and things we can learn and that sort of thing. So for me, it's just a way to.
I think that's where I really love being a dad, is like taking some of these kind of bigger themes and then we talk about it. Anakin's one of my favorite characters, and I think it's a perfect example of like you make some good choices and then you make some really bad choices, but there's always hope. And if you follow your heart and people show kindness to you, you can always come back from bad things. And Darth Vader and Anakin are really, he's a great character to discuss. And kind of show that.
Since you said about like something about like turning around, I was watching a YouTube video.
Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah.
So then some guy had he was at sea for like 72 days and he got arrested for doing something bad. After when he got out, he picked up a lot of like cigarettes and he he did something good for once, so he changed his life.
He was like picking up.
Yeah, and he made like little
clean up the community.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he made little sculptures of it.
Of cigarettes?
No, but it was cool.
That's interesting. Okay, cool, awesome.
You can always change your life around.
That's right, absolutely.
Definitely.
Even from jail to from stealing somebody's cars, or breaking.
Yeah.
Somebody trying to hurt somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Don't do that. Don't do that. Thank you. Okay, no snapping next. Okay, so here we go. Let's talk about Andor. So obviously when we talked last time, it hadn't come out yet. Now we're already in episode 5. It's happening quickly. Every week it's happening. What do you feel so far with Andor?
I really liked the first couple episodes, and I was like, I'm loving where this is going. And just getting to see a little bit of Andor's background, Cassian's background, and then I feel like we hit the last couple episodes here, and it's been kind of slow. It's kind of been a little bit. I keep thinking. I think I've thought this for like the last 2 weeks now, like, oh, this next episode's going to be like a really big one where we get a big reveal and like a bunch of action, and then it doesn't come, and I'm like, okay, it has to be coming sometime.
So it's so funny you said that, because I really felt going into this episode, because they had the camp set up and we're ready to go. Cassian is learning about what they're trying to do, and again, leading up to this right now, Cassian's with this group of people and they're trying to invade an Imperial garrison that have bank credits, or they have it's like a bank depository or something. So I was like, this episode we're gonna get explosions, we're gonna get pew 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 and all this stuff, and it didn't happen. I was like, wow, we're really talking about flames. This is a slow burn. This is like a real slow burn, and it's, I think, because of the tightness of Obi-Wan and Book of Boba, it was like bam, 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 bam. And now this one's like really drawn out, and I'm enjoying the slower pace. It's fun.
Yeah. I mean, and I hadn't thought about that necessarily either with like the pace between like Obi-Wan and like Book of Boba Fett, and like compared to the pace of this. So, I mean, because those were 6 episodes. Were those 6 episodes a piece?
There's
like
12.
Is there 12 in this?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, you got double the episodes, and so like I hadn't really thought about that before, but that makes a lot of sense. And I know there's a couple times as I was watching this episode this week, I was like, I'd like pause it to see how much time was left, and I was like, we're halfway through and nothing's blown up yet. What's going on?
We have not had one explosion yet. So
yeah, so I think
what the heck, you know? So
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean it's interesting that I'm kind of the same way. Like halfway through, I'm like, I guess we're not going to the garrison. So
yeah.
Let's just dive into it. So we have the first scene is a mom and a son having some cereal.
Like
yes.
he's like picking up the thing, just not like if it's Lucky Charms, why would you not eat those? Or
I know, but I think what they're trying to show is he thinks his life is going in one way and it's totally changed, and his mom is like being like, what are we gonna do with your life? Like, we got to talk to your uncle. And what did you think of the scene there, Isaac?
I thought it was interesting. It was an interesting scene. I also thought it was interesting when he like picked up the little piece of cereal and was like looking at it. I was like,
it almost looked like a Crunch Berry or a Kix cereal or something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe like Kix or something, like chocolate Kix or something. I don't know. But yeah.
Or there's a Reese's Pieces on.
Oh, the Reese's Pieces Puffs.
Oh,
but yeah, those are
That's
good.
true. That's
yeah.
a good one. That's a good thought. Yeah. But I just thought that whole scene was interesting because I feel like, because I think after the first couple episodes, I was thinking, oh, this character's gonna fade out. But he's continued to have little scenes here and there, so it's like you get that impression he's gonna have a bigger role.
I mean, we're definitely. I don't know how to pronounce his name correctly. I think it's Syril. It's almost like Syril. It's like Syril.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna call him Syril, but it's like Syril or something.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like we're not done with him. I mean, we're sticking with him.
Yeah.
And he's at that point in life where he has got to pick himself up, and he's just trying to understand where he needs to go. But we have the nagging mom like, hey, we got to talk to your uncle. We'll figure it out. I just love the look of the apartment. We were kind of talking about there's like a little R2 in the corner. There's some kind of refresher and this just kind of cool little breakfast table. I just loved everything about the apartment look. It was cool.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing I've enjoyed, and I think that's like a prime example of it with Andor here is like we get out to see some more like intricacies about Coruscant, and like some of those like little details about Coruscant, like I mean what an apartment building looks like.
The little details are cool, right? Yes. Yeah, we're just like, dude, this is fantastic.
Yes, and I don't know why, but I can't hear for some reason as much.
Okay, let me bump it up here, brother.
It's at 100.
All right, we bumped it up, man.
Just give us a second.
All right, let's try that. All right, good? Yeah. Is that better?
Yeah, I
can
hear a lot better.
Okay, so now we kind of go, let's see. So we have the breakfast scene, great. And then we are back to Aldhani. I think I'm saying that right. That's the mountain kind of place where the dam's at.
Okay.
And we are basically kind of we got goat milk and we don't like it. And then we have this interesting conversation between Clem and I'm trying to think who the other guy's name is.
The smarter guy?
The one that was talking a lot about his manifestos. Gosh, what was that guy's name?
That's like you say I'm the merc with the mouth.
Yes, but he had an interesting conversation. He was basically saying something about like what's the difference between the Empire and freedom, and he was writing this stuff down. What did you think about this little scene with him and Clem and at Cassian?
Yeah. I thought it was interesting. I think that it's it's interesting like how it's like we're seeing the start of the rebellion.
Yes.
And we're seeing these people process through like what does it mean for the rebellion to like happen.
Right.
And I think it's interesting to see like because all the like that conversation I found very interesting, and then I'm pretty sure is that Skeen? Is that his name?
I think that's his name.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think it's just like we're seeing like his idea versus even within that group of 7, there's like almost everyone has a different reason or idea for why to start this rebellion and why they're doing.
Yes.
And I'm finding that very interesting as we go along.
Yes. Yeah. I think you hit it right in the head. I think the motivation of how you get into a rebellion or whatever is different for everybody.
Yes.
Like and we'll get to it in a second.
There's all different ways why you're coming into the rebellion.
And really
And
what it gets
backgrounds.
Yes. And I think that's part of life. Your journey's different. Everyone's journey's different. And you get to this point where it's like we have to make a change. But their ideas, like Isaac was saying, is like they might not be the same.
No.
And that's okay in a sense, but it's like everyone's coming at it from just a slightly different angle, you know.
A little different.
They were doing some practicing of marching and how to march like a Imperial, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, and I love how like Clem's like that. Like he was explaining why he like this. He's right hand, but you switch it the other way. And
yes, he knew, like Andor knew their strong hand without kind of being told, and so like making sure that they hold the blaster in the right hand, which I thought was interesting. And then we get a cool TIE Fighter zoom. The TIE Fighter, you hear it. It's a great classic sound.
Yeah,
he's
just showing off like
the TIE Fighter pilot's kind of showing off a little bit. What did you think of this scene, Isaac?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was interesting that they had to hide the weapons. They were like running, like hiding, like I don't know how much you can see from a TIE Fighter. But it's still just like the caution that they're taking as that happens. Yeah, and you get that classic TIE Fighter like flying over and roughing up the water even there a little bit.
Yes.
Almost made me a little reminiscent of Force Awakens when the Resistance coming in on the water there.
That's a great point. Yeah, I think that's pretty awesome that we get that kind of low thing, like scaring the space goats, they're just doing all that kind of stuff. So I thought that was super cool. And like you said, if especially particularly this TIE Fighter pilot, he's not really looking, he's just buzzing. But you're right. It's like I don't think you could see a blaster from even that kind of low altitude. But they're taking all precautions just to make sure that they're coming off like shepherds, herders, and not this militant group. So
it's like a little small group of the army versus it's like the whole Nazi group, like the whole Nazis.
Yes, exactly.
And that's what the stormtroopers and the Empire Space Office Nazis or the Nazis.
Yeah, a little bit of that. So now we have ISB Deidre. She is trying to kind of recover from her, kind of not putting in her place, if you will, and she's still looking for stuff. And her and her aide are looking at a bunch of data pads, and essentially, like I think that it's the aide that says it. I'm pretty sure it's like it's too random to be random. Like they're seeing these kind of little outbreaks, and I thought that was interesting that she outlined it like, if I was going to do it, this is how I would do it. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. That whole little conversation there was like, very interesting and very like, you can tell she's going to get some redemption coming.
Yes.
Coming forward somewhere. And I just think, I think ever since I saw her on screen, like there was this intensity like when she was on screen, and it's like, okay, like what role, what is she gonna do? And we're starting to get a little bit of view into like she may be the one that really points the Empire towards, hey, there's some rebellion happening.
Yes. Yeah, I think one fact is that she's the only woman in that ISB council.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing. And then
no, there's two.
Is there two?
Yeah.
There's another woman there.
Yeah, there's the woman that like kills like the Clem. That kind of.
Yeah, but no, I'm talking about in the ISB council, like all the guys with the white. I don't know if there's enough. I could have sworn she was the only one. I might be mistaken on that.
I'm not 100% sure
I
on
saw
that.
you talking about the group.
Yeah, no, there's other girls in there. But she's still, she got somewhat put in her place when she was trying to get that request to go to Ferrix and stuff like that. So I definitely feel if we're projecting long term, I mean, Deidre and Syril are gonna connect somehow. And he's gonna help her out, I think. So yeah. So I thought that was cool. So we got that going on. Then essentially we have who is the inside guy on the Imperial side?
Like the bad guy, the black guy.
The black guy, yeah. What is his name? I don't.
Like the lieutenant.
Yeah.
He's like.
We have a couple scenes here where he's showing, expecting the garrison and stuff like that, and we have two ground crew are saying, "Hey, we want to see the spectacle of lights, this festival that's coming up. Could we make that happen?" Because he was saying, well, we need to double our efforts because, we're coming close to an inspection. And they're like, well, we really, all the crew wants to see it. And so he's like, all right, we'll take a little break. And he's essentially setting it up where the area that they're going to be in or where the rebels are coming in is going to be clear, which I thought was a cool little thing.
Yeah, he's like, if he was an actual like Imperial sergeant, that would be at least nice to like let him have the break.
It would be nice. That is showing some kindness, which Imperials don't do, but they like the ground crew are like, yeah. And then I just love that little like slight smile when he kind of turns away from them and it's like, this is exactly what I want.
Yeah, he's like, imagine
he might have been doing a little dance, we got this going on. So now we kind of go back to the camp one more last time, and they burn the model. They have this great model. They kind of burn it, and
that was probably the greatest model.
It was a pretty good model. That was like a school project model. That's like one of those cool things.
Like if you just like wasted all the time, you just like you're Superman, just throw the project away, and you're like, oh, why would I?
Yeah, but I think they got the most out of that model. So they're essentially kind of getting ready to go, and then they kind of make the journey towards the I would call it a dam, like the dam Imperial Garrison. And we get a little hostility here. So the one gentleman knows that Clem Andor's hiding something, and he gets his knife and grabs him. And what does he grab? Do you remember?
The Kyber crystal.
The Kyber crystal.
Yes.
And and then so there's like, why is he carrying around this super expensive Kyber crystal?
Like it might bet he got it from the guy.
He did get it from Luthen, but they don't know that. And so I like that Andor just went straight for the straight to the truth. He's like, I am being hired. What did you think about the scene there, Isaac?
Yeah, I think I thought that was very good. I thought it was interesting. Yeah, I thought it was interesting. He just went like, hey, I'm hired. Like, and I don't know what he said something on like
I'm only in for the money.
Oh,
yeah, like I'm only in for the money, and then like I want you guys to know where I'm at, so that way I know you guys have my back.
Yeah.
When we're in there, like it's pretty much what he said, I think, and like it's just like he's trying to be like, hey, I want to be honest with you, and I want to try to do this job the best I can, and get out of here alive.
It's kind of a progression for him, because when we meet Cassian, and we were kind of talking about this earlier, is that he's lying. He's like, when he comes to Ferrix after he kills that person, he's telling his buddy like, hey, we were at this bar, we got drunk, and I went to your house. Like, he's telling all these different lies. We know he's thin on money because we have like that one street guy with the big alien bouncer guy, and he's like, hey, you owe me money. He's like, hey, that's coming later. He's always dealing and swindling and lie on top of lie. And right here, he stops. He's like, I'm not lying about this anymore. I'm just going to tell you the truth, which is good. And it's a true thing going into combat. Not that I'm not military, but I mean, you need to understand that the person you're with or the group of people you're with have your back, and there's no animosity. And that, I thought that was a real key moment for the group, you know?
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I thought that would, I totally agree with that. I do have a question for you guys. I don't know if you guys know this.
He has a question. Here we go.
Because when they grabbed the Kyber, they called it Sky Kyber.
Yes.
Is there is there something specific, like, because I've never heard it called Sky Kyber. Is that something different? Do you know?
I don't know. If I had to guess, it's because of the way the Kyber looks. It's a special type of Kyber, and I mean, I guess we could do a little Wikipedia here, but I don't know.
Let's do it, dude.
Let's do it.
I'm already there. I'm trying to figure this out now. I was just I thought about that. And I was like, I've never heard it called Sky Kyber, so I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. All right, I got a screen rant here. Here we go. Okay. Did Star Wars just introduce a new kind of Kyber crystal? Yes, it did, but let me see if there's any.
The guy's face, like his face was stretched out, like.
Yeah, so he doubled down on the name Sky Kyber. Right, we know Elam is a big place where the Jedi took their Padawans. So we meet. Elam actually is in Jedi Fallen Order. Remember the Winter Planet?
Oh yeah.
And it turns into Starkiller Base, which is a whole nother thing. But
it does?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, because they use the First Order uses that as the way of that's how they get the big ray.
Oh yeah.
I did not realize that. I learned something.
Yeah. Learn something new every day here. Again, this is ScreenRant.com. It says it does seem likely that Sky Kyber is a brand new kind of crystal in Star Wars canon, and its increased significance and rarity could certainly implicate Luthen is in the near future. And Luthen does mention like this is more important to me than anything. So I don't know. I think it's just it's setting it above like it's not only is Kyber rare, but the Sky Kyber is like even rarer and has good selling value, obviously, because that's where again, I'm not really good with the names, but he basically said, why is he carrying us around? We're living on scraps, and this dude's carrying the super expensive
like a Rolex. So
it's basically somebody at his middle class economic way is not gonna have this on his body, basically.
It's like that it's like the kid who has like the expensive clothes and they have the expensive shoes.
Right. It's true. Like you're going to school and you have like the most expensive shoes on. It's like, how is that possible? Like you shouldn't have that, you know?
Like there's a bully in my, like the school. He always wears like Jordans.
Okay.
Like the Jordan shoes. He has like a tons of pairs of them.
Oh well. Yeah.
Like they're expensive.
They are expensive. Yeah. It's just essentially it's just in an odd place for what they're trying to do. So I thought that was cool. And then let's see what else we got. We got Mon Mothma and her hubby Perrin traveling an airspeeder. What do you think of Mon Mothma and her husband Perrin? What do you think of them, Isaac?
There definitely seems to be some separation in their thinking between the two of them. I guess that'd be a way to say that. And so, I just find that it's interesting because to my knowledge, is this the first time we've really ever seen her husband?
Yes.
In anything. Yes. So I mean, so it's just interesting to see that kind of. And
we also there was a slightly earlier scene with her daughter, and they were supposed to go to some event, and she's like, "You're just going just to show," and I thought that was interesting. I mean, I definitely feel sympathy for the daughter that like her mom's a public figure and it's hard to understand like if she's doing this for the senator look or is she doing this as a mom. And you can definitely tell there's like some.
The dad's just.
And the dad's a little flake. He's a little. He's
like, yeah.
He's a jerk, basically. He's a jerk. He's like, he's just sitting there like.
Well, he's in the last episode, he's like, why does it have to be everything sad,
Yeah. And here's other thing I thought was interesting is the daughter's name is Leda, like basically Leia with a D in the middle.
Leda.
Oh.
And so I'm guessing Leda would actually be older than Leia is, but I mean, I would assume Padme might have known Mon Mothma's daughter. I don't know. That's just kind of an out there thought, but I did.
Interesting.
I did see that. I was like, there's a ironically close name there.
Yeah, that's true. Like if because Padme and Mon Mothma might have already connections in the Senate.
Yeah.
And if because she's, I would say not quite 16-ish. She's around that. So like you said, she might be slightly older. So there might be a little connection there.
Yeah. I saw that. I was like, that's kind of interesting.
Interesting. That's cool. And then I'm trying to think of what happens next here. So we do have another shot of Luthen, and it's a Tukey shop, and he's like on the comm and waiting for a transmission, and Keela, his assistant, is like, you got to shut this down. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Yeah. We got other things going on, and you just can't be like sitting around a radio to make sure that this thing is going to happen.
Yeah. So. And he said, and this is what she said. You said that an hour ago.
Right. It's time to wrap this up. Like he's waiting for that. He's waiting for the call to say we're going in. And there's this essentially like, we took a risk with Andor. It's already in motion. You can't stop it. And he was like, hey, we got customers in the morning. We gotta wrap this up. So he's like, okay.
Yeah, and I thought that because that was the last scene, right?
Yeah.
And I just thought it was interesting as they like walked out and like turned the lights off. It was like that intermission, like turn the lights down type of thing before the next episode. Like I'm like, okay, we got good stuff coming next episode.
Yeah, and like we said at the beginning, it's like I was thinking they're gonna raid the garrison. This is this episode. Yeah. Technically, it's not. It's gonna be episode 6, which is fine. Yeah. I just lots of great character build. As we head into the back half of this, where do you see this going, Isaac?
Oh man. Well, because I'm just trying to get my brain straight here. Because is it already because they've talked about a season 2, right? Already.
Correct.
And so, I mean, we're not going to get all the way up to Rogue One. Like,
no.
There's going to be a stopping point. And so,
yes.
Yeah, I really like this first season, at least right now, because I feel like this is like, especially with Luther. Is it Luther? Is that?
Luthen.
I don't know.
It's fine, yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like he's like being that guy that's pulling Cassian into the rebellion. And I feel like we're going to see Cassian, like, during this season, fully commit to being part of the rebellion. Yeah. And so, I mean, and I think I really wonder if that, and then also just like seeing the rebellion come together as a whole.
Yes.
Because
it's not there yet.
Yeah, it's not there. And I mean, like, we're getting like with Luthen and Mon Mothma and some of those interactions, like, I mean, Mon Mothma's still in the Senate, Imperial Senate. And I know at one point, I mean, I guess I don't specifically know if this is canon, but I know the thought is that she kind of defects from that before Rogue One, really.
Yes.
And so I'm guessing we may get to see some of that as well, which I think will be interesting as well. Well, and I know it's like we see because I know there's a Senate scene in the trailers that we haven't seen yet.
Yet. Yep.
So it's like we got some of that coming as well. So yeah, I really think just like the formation of the rebellion and kind of that groundwork that comes with that.
Well, and true, like it's not until like Rogue One and the Battle of Scarif is when everything is coming together. They're finally like all these different rebel cells are coming together. So
Mhm.
we still got a long time for that.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it like I said, this can be a slow burn, but we're enjoying it.
Yes.
Did you like this episode?
Yes, I loved it.
Yeah. How many? I don't even know what our rating is. T stars. What do we got? How many?
I would give out a 10.
10.
10.
Yeah. I mean,
It's good.
once you get your brain around the idea that this is character building and there's a lot other things going on and they're showing different parts of the galaxy,
Mm-hmm.
it's really cool. And I mean, don't worry, we're gonna get some explosions. We're gonna get some.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get some people stabbing their face.
Yeah.
We're gonna get some vibroblades and some blasters.
Yes.
Yeah. So don't worry
Yeah.
about that. But
Yeah, and I do agree. Like they're doing some really good character development right now, which
Yeah.
I appreciate.
Yes, I appreciate too.
And because I feel like within Disney Plus and what they've had come out as series so far, there hasn't been a whole lot of that. And so to see that dive more into that, I think I have appreciated that side of things. It's kind of like you said, that slower grind.
Right. And I think too, one of the things, I mean, it's subtle in Star Wars, but it's there, is that information is power. And so we're seeing that like information and those kind of connections and what is a big part of both sides, and I think that's definitely key. So
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome.
But yeah,
All right.
I thought it was a good episode. So yeah.
Yes. Good episode. Very good. Awesome. So we've been doing this thing. What was happening when? And since we're on episode 119, we have to go to 2019. So we're almost caught up. We almost can't do this anymore, but that's okay. 2019. Do you know what came out in 2019? The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, yeah. I was so young back then. It's been
2 years.
I can't remember.
You can't remember.
I can't remember what I did.
Yeah, I know. We have a hard time remembering what we did.
I can remember
Yeah.
since I was 3. It has to be a long time. I can remember.
So you can remember stuff way back, but like just last week you can't remember.
Nah. I can't remember.
So 2019. Did you see Rise of Skywalker in the theaters? Like what were you doing in 2019 there, Isaac?
Yeah, I was trying to think now, because I would have came out Christmas 2019.
Yes.
Yeah, so I would have saw Rise of Skywalker in theaters in central Indiana somewhere.
There
So,
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a pretty good obviously the cadence was pretty steady there. So we had a group of guys that we started with Force Awakens, and so that kind of carried on through the Rise of Skywalker, which was fun. And one of the cool things were two good things. Like I got to go see Star Wars with my dad, so we got to experience that again, which was so much fun, just having an experience with my dad. And then taking Trent and Ellie and my other son Jordan, and that was the family experience. It was super fun getting in the theaters and seeing Star Wars, Yeah. So yeah,
and I would agree. Like for me, that's probably the first time I really remember super well seeing theaters in Star Wars, because like when the prequels were coming out, like I was really young, so like I don't remember those super well, but like really like seeing these set of movies come out is like, that's what I remember. We'll probably remember just with like actually seeing Star Wars in theater.
Yeah. And obviously it's getting that momentum to get you like when you look back on it, it's like, hey man, that's lighting that fire for the podcast and stuff like that.
Starting all that.
Yeah, I mean, at this point too, we just started the podcast too. A year because we started around Mando. We always argue about this, but it was Mando. It's like, when did we start this? It's Mando.
No, we did not.
But we had a good time, and it was fun. It was just fun seeing that in the theater. So there you go.
Yeah.
I'm just.
I know. All right. Well, thanks again, Space Wizards, Plastic Spacemen, and Rebel Princess, for listening to another episode of Big T and Little T, a Star Wars podcast. You can find us on the socials, Big T, Little T podcast on Instagram, BLILT podcast on Twitter, and then twitch.tv/BTLT /Big T Little T. Isaac, where can people find your podcast?
Yeah, so you guys can find my podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and most other platforms. And then love to connect with you guys as well. And you guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Ikes Flame. So yeah,
Ikes Flames. All right. Cool. Awesome. Hey, we got stickers and pins and all kind of fun stuff. We want to hear from you. So comment, tweet, rate us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or you can email us at podcast at
gmail.com.
There you go. And you can drop us a question. Tell us what you think of Andor, all that fun stuff. Yes. And we love to send you a sticker and read that comment or rating on the next upcoming podcast. Next time, we're going to be talking about Andor episode 6. Obviously, we got these. I love the weeklies. It's so great. It gives us great content to talk about and kind of see where everything's going. Yes. What do you got in store for Ikes Flame? What's happening?
Yeah, so kind of gotten a weird kick. So now probably the next few episodes we're going to be probably talk a little bit about Andor, but we'll also be looking towards Tales of the Jedi and kind of doing some pre-work to that and get excited about Tales of the Jedi.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. That comes out what is that?
It's like the last week of October.
Last week of October.
I feel like I might want an Xbox.
26.
What is it? 26.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'll be in the corner kind of twitching a little bit because we got new Andor and then 6 episodes of animation.
Should I be worried about you?
Yeah, you probably should. You probably need to get a defibrillator out because you might need to shock me because I'll be in the clutch. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good.
I will probably do CPR and check your pulse then.
Check my pulse. Yeah, exactly.
I'll probably do the defibrillator on your heart.
I'm like, I'm okay. Like, pee, clear, you know. Yeah, but I am super excited for that. It sounds like we're going to see a Ahsoka path and a Dooku path.
Yep.
And I'm all for it. It looks great.
It's going to be good stuff.
It's almost like it's going to be like a Clone Wars season 7.5. I kind of feel like
it's like not a full season and they're shorts, but it's still going to be good though.
It's still going to be good. It's going to be good Star Wars. So there you go. Okay. Now remember, truly
wonderful as the mind of a child is.
There you go. And may the Force be with you always. Bye. Bye.
See you guys.
Thank you, Isaac, so much.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
It took me 10 years to make the perfect man cave.
And then we took it over. And we made it into the multiversal chamber.
Then I started my own podcast.
And we took that over too. And we're the co-hosts, the Multiverse Kids.
Yeah, and I'm the dad, the geeky dad. And every week, we what?
We review the movies, shows, and books. Games and toys.
Yeah, and sometimes we even have a special guest. So, join us every week on the Geeky Dad Podcast.